topic for today is proportion. But before we dive into that, I would like to revise with you what is ratio and what is rates. Ratio is a comparison between two quantities with the same unit. For example, the ratio of my height and your height. 170 cm to 155 cm. Same unit, therefore we can slash this off and it becomes 170 to 155. We can write in this form, also we can write in the fraction form. Ratio of my height to your height. On the other hand, what is rates? I'll use this as an example. This is called bubble tea. For example, I might get 100 grams of pearl bubble in 500 ml of tea. Take note, there is a different unit in rates. Rates is actually about comparing two quantities. One quantity is the mass of the bubble pearl. Another quantity is the volume of the tea. Here, ml. So I'm comparing two quantities with two different units. This is what we call as rates. Therefore, 100 grams of pearl bubble in 500 ml of tea. So I can actually slash them off and perhaps I'll get about 0.2 gram of pearl bubble in 1 ml of the tea. So this is rates and this is a ratio. But how about proportion? Proportion is something like this. This is the ratio of my height to your height. And I'm going to compare with Michael Jordan's height with my father's height. And I found that this, and I put it into calculator, I'll get 1.1. And this into calculator, I will also get 1.1. When these two ratios are coming to the same number, this is what we call as proportion. 比例. The ratio of my height to your height is the same with Michael Jordan's height and my father's height. Proportion. Similarly, when we compare about rates, this is a small size of bubble tea. What if I have a bigger size of bubble tea? Instead of 500 ml, I have about 1000 ml, which is 1 liter, and this is my bubble inside. So I have actually 1 liter of bubble tea, which contain about 200 grams of bubble pearl inside. And when we slash this off and put into the calculator, I will also get 0.2 gram of bubble pearl in 1 ml of the tea here. So when these two rates are the same, we call this as proportion to, which means they have the same proportion. 它们的比例是一样的。So I repeat, proportion is about comparing two ratios when they are the same. And when they compare two rates and they found that both rates are the same, are equal, so we call this as proportion. 比例. So what is proportion? Proportion is 比例. Let's look at this example. I can write 45 words in 5 minutes, and my friend Kelly, she can write 540 words in an hour. So, are our writing speed the same? Or can I say that my writing speed is proportion to her writing speed? Let's look at this. Let's simplify this, put this in the calculator. 45 divided by 5. I'll say that I can write 9 words in 1 minute. And for Kelly, she can write into calculator also 9 words in 1 minute. So actually both of our writing speed are the same. So I can say that my writing speed is proportion to her writing speed. Now let's try to put the proportion down for these two situations. First one, I have 10 bins with a mass of 17 gram and I have 30 bins have a mass of 51 gram. So for the first situation, I can put 10 bins per 17 gram, which is the first rates. The next one, 30 bins with a mass of 51 gram. It says that they are proportion, but we can double check. 10 to 30 times 3, 17 to 51 times 3 as well. So yes, they are proportion because they have times the same whole number. This is a second situation where there is a cycling competition between Kedah to Melaka. On the road is 1,180 km. On the map, it shows that 1 cm represents 50 km, and on the map, the distance between Kedah to Melaka is 23.6 cm. So we are going to put it in the proportion term. How? So we are going to put the scale 1 cm to 50 km on the proportion. So it's 1 cm to 50 km. What is this? This is actually the same unit. So is this a ratio or the rate? You think about it. So this is a scale and the real one. We can put it as 23.6 cm. Why? Because cm to cm to 1,180 km. So this is the proportion that we put two ratios together. And how are we going to check whether this is a real proportion or not? You can see that 1 cm to 23.6 is times 23.6, and let's check this. 50 times 23.6, put into a calculator, you should be able to get 1180 km. So this is how we put proportion onto the situations. What's the point of learning proportion? Here's the point. I'll show you in a bit. Let's go back to the bin case. I have 10 bin, 17 gram, 30 bins, 51 gram. What if I buy 100 gram of bin? How many bins do you think I will roughly get? This is the point of learning proportion. So first I will box this up to find the question mark. With this, I can recopy my statement, 30 bins, 51 gram. And how many bins I will get with 100 gram purchased? So the question mark is on top, I'll leave it here. And I'm going to bring the number here to the left. Why? Because I'm going to group all the numbers together, then to find the question mark. I'll again copy this, 30 divided by 51 gram. This is divide 100 gram. Divide, when I move it to the left, it becomes times 100 gram. Here you are. Press on the calculator and slash the unit off. You'll be able to get 59 bins approximately. Next, in this case, from Kedah to Melaka, let's say I want to find the real distance between Kedah to KL. I don't know the exact distance, but I know that on the map it shows that from Kedah to KL it is 18 cm. with the proportion that we have here, let's put this down. 18 cm, I'll put cm on top. And what is the exact distance on the road? I'll put a question mark here. Now, you can choose how to solve this problem. For this, we've boxed this, but for this, you have an option to actually box this with this. Why? Let me show you why. I choose this because they're all whole number, very easy for calculation. At the same time, you can actually also box this. But this is difficult because there is decimal and the number is big. So I'll use this equals to this. Copy down the question and the statement. Now, again, I'm going to solve for this question mark, distance between Kedah to KL. So how? Again, I'm going to move this number together with the number. But this is tricky because question mark at the bottom, I'd like it to move to the top first. Divide, I'll move it to the left so that the question mark will be on top. Question mark, the one that we're going to find, is always on top. 18 cm, I remain. So I move all the numbers from the left to the right. So when I move this, the top will become the bottom. The bottom, divide, will become multiply on top. Putting into calculator, 900 kilometer. So we can say that the distance between Kedah to KL is equals to 900 kilometer. So that is the function of calculating proportion. The unknown value in a proportion. I'll give you an example here. The government says you have to pay 43.6 cents for 2 kilowatt hour of electricity you use. So by the end of the month, I received a bill saying that I have used 30 kilowatt hour. So how much money I have to pay? I don't know. So by using proportion, I can actually count this out. So check with the unit first. Unit kWh, kilowatt hour. I have to place kilowatt hour at the bottom. How much money I have to pay is a question mark. How much money I have to pay? Put on the top. With this, I can actually solve. How? First, I check my question mark on top. That is safe because question mark that we want to find is always have to be on the top. Then at the bottom here, I'm going to move this number to the left so that I can group all the numbers together and put everything into the calculator. So divide, when I crosses this equal sign, it becomes times. At the bottom, it becomes on the top. Equal to question mark. All this, I will copy down again, exactly the same, 2 kilowatt hour. Watch. It is important to look at the unit first. On top there is a kWh. At the bottom there is a kWh. Yes, on top, at the bottom, I can slash them off and I put everything into the calculator, and for the 3.6 times 30 divided by 2, you'll be able to get 654 unit. Put it down, cent. So this is the cost I have to pay for the 30 kilowatt hour I've used by the end of the month. 654 cents, which is 6 ringgit and 54 cents.